Right, I thought, since I get a lot of questions about pens all the time. Oh yes, I'm Rudetoons, and this is my video about pens. I thought it would be a good idea just to make a little video about pens. I'll load the full video up onto YouTube, and then I'll put shortened version of it on Instagram and put the links on my Patreon as well. I live in North Yorkshire, in Britain, England, and so I actually live in the countryside. So it's not like I nip out to art shops all the time to get pens. There are no art shops around me. So basically, everything I find is either on eBay on the internet, or if I'm lucky, when you go to shops like Wilko's, Wilkinson's, and things. Sometimes, if you try out really cheap pens, they're really good. They're really amazing for drawing stuff with. So to get started, this is the mechanical pencil I really like the most. It's a Pentel. Here we go. Yeah, it's a really nice. It's a nice weight. I never actually use the little rubber that's inside. Um, you know these little things here that help you put it in your pocket and stuff. I always break them off, but because this is metal, it lasts. Whenever I've got biros and stuff and things, these things I can't stop playing with them and they always break off. Anyway, it's a good pencil. You'll see a lot of people doing really detailed drawings with it and stuff, but I pencil, I do all my drawing, I pencil with it, and then I ink straight over my lines. So that's my pencil I like the most. What else have we got here? Ah, yes. An old school normal pencil. It's really nice for doing. When you've seen me doing pencil sketch portraits, this is what I use. Now look, this is an old chewed one. I found it in the bureau downstairs. I sharpen it up, I do a pencil portrait. There's a lot of full pencil sets, and you're looking at £12, 15, £20 for them, and they do all the different pencil grades. I never use them, I never buy them. They're a fortune. I don't have a lot of money because everything that I make goes under paying bills. Just grab a pencil, find pencils, nick them from work, save up a little hoard. Now, this is a putty rubber, right? For lots of my artistic career, I never used one. And eventually, I finally got one off the internet. It's really nice. Now, the idea is that you've drawn a picture, you want to remove your light sketching lines without removing everything that you've drawn. You've drawn your picture in pencils, I should say. You rub your putty rubber over it. I think they call it a kneaded eraser as well. It's because you can just keep. It shouldn't actually crumble off and flake. You just keep squishing it, and the warmer it gets, it's like blue tack. The warmer it gets, the more shapes it takes. It will get dirty from your hands. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So it removes the light lines and shouldn't remove the heavy lines. But this is one of the reasons why it's so cool. If you're drawing on glossy card stock, now like some of the sketch cover comics you can get that have the blank covers, some of them are really good cardstock and some of them are a nightmare. Some of them are just really glossy. And you do your pens and then you want to remove your pencils. Sometimes this will just take off your pencils, leave your inks without smudging them really bad. Whereas the rubber that I use all the time, there we go, my Stedler Mars plastic one, you see it's much tougher. This one will rub out everything and anything. On tricky, annoying surface stock, that's when it will cause you a problem. But basically, this is the coolest rubber you'll ever get. It rubs out everything. It obliterates whatever you need it to. And what I like to do is I like to use one side heavier than the other side so that I always get a tipped point. And then this way I can use my tipped points when I'm doing eyes and stuff. And I go, oh no, I've screwed up an eye. Just my tip point will take it out. Oh, look, I've drawn a full sketch and I decide I don't like it and I want to save my paper. Use my big end. Yes, I use my big ender. Now, ooh, there's loads of different pens on the market. So, right, let's have a look at these first. Stedler. Now you can see that's a 0.05, right? That basically means that it's got a... I'm doing everything one-handed because I'm holding the camera with my other hand. Not camera. It's my Lenovo tablet. Now look, I don't think it'll focus enough to show you, but basically that tip is so fine you cannot see it. Now that's really good for doing eyes, doing noses, doing all your tiny stuff. This is really strange. That's how you pilot space shuttles, right? Now it starts at 0.05, it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, it goes up in sizes. For example, here's a 7, and this is a lot thicker. Now, you could draw an entire picture with a 0.05, but it will take you a long time. And the work I do, you've got to get faster and faster and faster because, well, if you've got what, 20, 50, 100 sketch cards to do, and your deadline's looming, and you can normally complete 5 to 10 sketch cards a day, you need to get faster and faster. So do your tiny things with your 0, whatever, or your whatever your smallest pen is, and then you do your thicker outlines with these ones. Now, these pens, because they're Stedlers, they're expensive. They're like, what are we looking at? £1.50, £2 something each. The last time I checked, I haven't actually bought any in a while because a family member bought me a whole load of boxes full of them. So they've been lasting me a very long time. Now, what else have I got? Sharpies. You know about Sharpies. Fine point Sharpies. Now, my advice is to go on eBay, look for the deals where you get a whole load of Sharpies for as cheap as possible. Black Sharpies. Sharpies are really good for drawing. They're really good for doing black work. I mean, there's an artist I follow on Instagram, and he does an entire drawing with a Sharpie, and he literally gets a scalpel, cuts the tip off the Sharpie to turn it into a chisel tip, and then he only draws in Sharpie. I don't know. I think he prays to Satan and made some sort of deal with the devil, but apparently he can do it. Sharpies, I've done a lot of work with Sharpies. They're amazing. Now, we'll move on to the pens that I've started using recently, because this has basically been the majority of my art career, and now the pens that I'm using recently, okay? First off, the most awesome find in the world ever, right? These are, there's no name on them. There's a shop in the UK called Wilko's. It used to be Wilkinson's. They're now online as well. Basically, they're a shop that you can supposedly buy anything from. A lot of shops that used to be like that closed down, but Wilko's still manages to keep going. They've got a fairly large stationery department, and they just brought out their own brand of fine-tipped pens. See if I can get the lid off with only one hand. Right, you see how fine-tipped it is? It's basically got a plastic nib. Now, what's amazing about these is, although it was quite cheap, it was basically, how much was it? Okay, I can't quite remember now. So I'll hazard a guess. I think it was 5 for £1 or £1.50. Now, if you imagine a Stedler, right, is £1.50, £2.50 for one, you're getting 5. And depending how you draw, one of these will either last ages or run out quite fast. It's not refillable, but they do such amazing fine work. I've drawn entire pictures with them, and I've got great responses from them. Now, when you get responses online about your drawings, right, part of that response is your own style, part of that response is the subject you've drawn, and part of that response is what you've gotten your pens to do. So you might be a great artist, but your pens might be behaving badly, right? You might be a terrible artist, but your pens are behaving really well, and so you're getting stuff out of them. You know what I mean? It's a combination of things. This is one of my most favourite pens at the moment from Wilko's. It's super cheap, and I like cheapness. Now, brush pens. This is a brush pen. I got it off eBay. Now, as far as I know, it's not refillable. How much was this? It was around £5, I think, £5 to £10. It was classed under the name Zig. It's got this really nice little stringy bit at the top there. Now you see this little lid. This little lid's very cute, but it doesn't actually like, when you take the lid off, it doesn't actually like going back on the pen. And the brush pen tip is really firm. It's a really sunny day, so I'm not going to take the lid off, because if I take the lid off and then try and put it back on one-handed, this sun is just going to go and kill my pen. But basically, when you're drawing, the tip is very firm, but it has a nice little grip on it. And I found this drew on glossy cardstock as well as normal paper stock and cardstock really nice. So it's a really nice pen, but it won't let you really experience what a brush pen can do. Faber and Castell do a whole load of fine liners. That's what I call them, fine liners. They do a whole load of fine liners, and they also do brush pens. Now, I love their brush pen tip, right? I love their brush pen. It's expensive, but it's a lot like this one. It's a very firm brush tip. So although you'll get the feeling of a brush pen, it doesn't have the give that these next two have. Let's put that there. So, okay, before I go on to my favourite, now I really like this one, and you're probably going to recognise this. This is one of the most recognised brush pens. It's a Pentel. It's if you look on eBay for this, right, basically all you have to do to look up brush pens is type in brush pen on eBay or brush pen black, and you'll see it comes in a cardboard cartony thing box that says it's for drawing manga, right? Just ignore that. It should cost you around £10. It might be £11, £12, £13, and you should get 1 to 2 refills with it, right? Okay, so there's the tip. It's already got a bit of ink flowing over. See that? That's why it's amazing. Now I'm just going to put the lid down, so I'm just going to put this down for a minute. Right. So although I've put the lid on, I'm going to show you how it refills, right? Because this is very important to this pen. Oh man, I've used most of the ink in it already. God, that is what is annoying about these pens, right? They refill with these capsules, and these capsules don't hold a lot of ink. They hold very little ink, and they cost a fortune. It changes dependent on what you can get and how much you can get it for, but essentially you're looking at like around £5 for a few of them, a couple of them. Have a look on eBay, type in Pentel brush pen refill, and they come in little capsules. Sometimes you can get them in little boxes in Japanese and stuff. It's a lovely pen. It's an amazing pen. It's really good for drawing. But the fact is, those little refills run out fast, and it will cost you a fortune. Now you can refill those little capsules with India ink. It's tricky because they're so small. You use a syringe. It's a long process. Have a look on YouTube. There's videos of people doing it. I do it, and the pen, sometimes it's fine, sometimes it tries to dry out and I have to wash the nib. So this is one of the most expensive brush pens, but look, you just saw there. You know, you get so much line variance with it. Now, my favourite, right? Why has he got two of them? Is it because he's so amazing? Is it because he's Spider-Man? No. Right? See how there's a little bit of sellotape around this one and there isn't on this one? Because this one is full of its original ink. The original ink as you buy it. So basically, this is what it looks like after I've just got it out of its packing on the internet. Off eBay, type in brush pen. This pen costs you basically around £5. And what you get is, it looks like this. All the ink is in the handle, right? You saw how that started to bleed there, right? This pen almost never bleeds. Right? There's its tip. It's a proper brush tip. There you go. You just saw how it drew. I'm going to try and put it back in its lid. I hope that just went right. Yeah, I'll put it down, make sure. Yeah, that went on okay. So, essentially, this is the best brush pen in my mind, right? Now, Pentel do ones that are shaped like this, but I've never tried one of theirs. It's just called a brush pen. It says number 22. When you get it, you have to pull out basically a little yellow separator that just allows the ink to flow from the handle into here. The handle lasts for ages. For ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. When it does run out, you have a choice. You can buy more handles. A refill cartridge for a brush pen. This handle basically costs £3. Can you see the word zig there? Black refill cartridge for brush pens. Basically around £3 to £5. I know, and you can buy the whole pen for £5. But essentially, you're buying the handle and you're putting your previous nib on it. But now this is what I do when you see me drawing and things, right? And this is why I've got two. This one, there's a number of tubes inside. Now if you type in this brush pen into YouTube and type refill, you'll see people refilling this with India ink. For example, I use this. I got it off eBay. Look at that, 490 millilitres. India ink, right? Pardon me, it's a big tub. I didn't mean to burp there, sorry about that. I pour it into a little glass jar, and then I basically use a syringe, suck the ink out. I've taken the nib off. There's a little plastic circular thing here that helps the ink and everything. Sorry, I was just stopping a spider there getting a fly. There's a little plastic thing that basically helps the ink move from the pen to the from the handle to the tip. You basically pop that off with a really sharp knife. There's an inner tube. You take the inner tube out, leave only the inner tube. Yes, there's two tubes inside, and then you pump the entire handle full of India ink, retwist it back on, and pretty much it always works. Occasionally, if the weather's been too hot, you've left it in the sun or something, this nib will harden. In which case, you have to get some water and wash your nib. It's just like a brush. Look at this. Now you see this. You see this floor, and that's me refilling it with India ink. Look at that, right? So I could spend £3 odd, £4 odd, £5 odd getting the refills, and I actually do, because when you refill this with India ink, although the nib is exactly the same, you won't get the same super fine point when you're drawing. Instead, you get a much thicker line. Now, can you see here? See how the line on my, what I call my refill pen, is thicker than the line on there. Now you see the breakup, that's because of this paper. To keep getting the ink, now you see with this pen, right, the ink is constantly flowing from the capsule into the tip, which is why you end up with bleeding, which is a problem Pentel like, because your ink runs out faster. With these ones, when this little bit here that my thumb's touching starts to run out of ink, see where that little writing is? You just go, you give it a little squeeze, and more ink goes through the little pipes, goes into here, runs into your brush. So for example, I draw my eyes and all my delicate lines with this one, but I do all my shading, the hair, the thicker lines, the background and everything with this one. I've even drawn entire pictures with this one, if it's behaving well, if it's in a good mood. Now these are lovely, these. Stroke them. Right. Petite 3. There it is, look. Pilot, Petite 3. They are a brush pen, but their nib is super, super tiny. See how tiny that is? Now it's a pretty sharp pen, but the idea is that once you're doing this with 2 hands, I'm doing it with 1. There you go. Now it's regular pen size. Right? It does feel like a brush pen. Not like those do. It feels more like a brush pen, like this one, with a firmer tip. And it comes in loads of different colours. It comes in red ink, blue ink, black ink, pink ink, lots of different types of blue ink, all sorts of colours. It comes in loads of colours. They're a really good, they're a really good price, right? But you're getting them from Japan, so you have to wait ages for them to arrive. They come with lots of different ink capsules, and you can see the ink capsule inside. You can see that ink capsule. So because the pen's transparent, you can actually see the ink going down as you're drawing with them. But I mean, look how tiny it is. Look at that. It fits in your pocket fantastic. It's perfect for taking away places to do drawing with. And I've done drawings with them and then posted them online, and people love them. People like the results. They like the colours. They like how it's come out. I love them. I've used them at conventions. I've sat there drawing pictures with them. And I mean, look at this, right? There's 4 colours. Look at how much space they take up. Very little. So those are awesome. Essentially, this is roughly my kit. Now, I do have lots of other sizes of them, but I don't keep them all in my pencil case at the same time. I usually only have like 2 sizes out at a time. If I need extra ones, I'll go and get them from my art shelves. At the moment, it's these 2 that I'm using the most. These 2 I'm using most heavily. One that I refill, one that has the refills off the internet. Just go on eBay, type in brush pen. You'll see all the different types. You can get these types in some different colours as well. For example, red ink and stuff. But I suggest buying yourself a black ink one, having a go, because it could be that you don't like drawing with brush pens, in which case you might want to stick with them or just try Sharpies or whatever. But don't think that all brush pens are the same or equal. You'll get completely different effects and results and a feel drawing with this than you will with them and with this. This and these 2 can be refilled from India ink, right? Not from pen ink, right? This is the big difference, right? Pen ink that you use for writing with, you don't want to put that in your drawing pens. You want India ink drawing ink. That's what you want. Otherwise, it'll dry up and knack your pens. Right. So that's my pen video. Hope you enjoy it.